I agree.
Okay, so can we start officially now?
Sure.
Let's just warm up. Okay, good afternoon, everybody. And this is Conversation with Joy. And I'm so happy with having my next guest. Guest ba daw? Parang corny ko. Parang akong talk show host, sorry. But I've been meaning to talk to this young person, but I kept postponing. Maybe it was never the right time, and today's the right time. So he's a very good friend, a young colleague. Of course, you will get to know him more. But I know him, I call him by the name of Lee. Of course, he has a very long name, and I sometimes interchange his name. So it's safer me. It's safer for me to just call him Lee. Yeah, parang Bruce Lee. I don't know if he knows how to do karate or martial arts. But anyway, I'm so happy to welcome everybody. For those who will be watching this video or listening to this conversation later on, I'll be talking to Leo, or I simply call him Lee. So Leo, so happy to see you. I haven't seen you face to face for quite some time, although I know that you just work close by. And of course, once in a while, we message each other through, of course, the messenger. Pero it's good to see you. And this is our first time to have a conversation online.
Yeah.
And maybe you're going to think what's happening with me. I believe that before I started this, raw and real conversation, I've been thinking. I think there are conversations that meant to be shared. Although this is a conversation with friends usually, but I think, people, even if they would just passively listen, I think it could benefit, or it could be beneficial for some people. And I believe in that, even if it's just a few people, one or two or three or five people, I believe in that. So I think that's why I'm doing this. And I'm glad that you are free this afternoon. So Lay, can you please introduce yourself? Tatawa bang ka, oy?
Yeah.
I'm
Good afternoon. Yeah. Good afternoon, Ma'am J. I call her Ma'am J because she calls me.
Tapulan siya mag-pronounce sa akong full name. So sorry, just like me. Okay, so
Hello, everyone, especially to the followers yeah, and subscribers of Ma'am J, to her students, and to everyone who will be watching this video. Good afternoon. I'm Leo, but my name really is Efren Leo John Leo Aribal, but people call me Leo, and I'm from Bukidnon, from Valencia City, Bukidnon. Born and raised at Central Mindanao University. That's why I so love CMU.
Batang Muswan ka pala?
Yes, Ma'am J.
Okay, I didn't know that. Of course, Leo. Okay, I used the soft E,
Yeah.
but you want the hard E, then Leo?
Yeah. My English teacher would call me Leo. It should be Leo, but of course, everyone calls me
Yeah,
Leo.
whether you're Leo or Leo or Lee, I like I
Yeah.
call you Lee. Okay, that's my pet name for you. So okay, now that you're Batang Muswan, good. So we'll talk about it later. What else can you share about yourself? Family background, academic background.
Right. So basically, both my parents worked before sa CMU, and but my father transferred in a private school diri sa Valencia. But I spent my childhood really and even my high school life at CMU. So there's a lull moment. I would always credit that experience to who am I right now, because every afternoon we always play at the rice paddies. We always play like we climb trees and we get fruits from our neighbors. Ma'am, CMU. Almost every balay na ay rambutan,
Yes.
santol. And it was really a community, like a very like family. That's why I would say it really molded me to who am I right now. Like it always tells me the idea na always go back to where you belong, and those experiences, I mean, it simply reminds me to be humble all the time.
Mhm.
Something like that. Oh, very ano na.
Very deep na, no?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I didn't know that your father worked here actually. Of course, I met your mom. Um, she just retired a few years ago, so I had, of course, many opportunities to meet her here. She's one of the employees of CMU definitely. But was your dad a faculty? Because I didn't know that.
Yeah, yes, Ma'am J. He was one of the faculty members sa CMU Developmental High School at Quezon.
Ah,
And then
okay.
when I don't know barangay something, I don't know that the exact term.
Mm-mm.
When the president was ano na change, I think nawala na pud to nga ano.
Yeah, there were extension schools and laboratory schools for CMU. Although I'm not from here also, but I sort of know that. What I knew was there was an extension school for college students in Camiguin and a few, maybe 2 to 3 laboratories, high schools, I think, sort of. Parang laboratory high school siya. Because
I remember Barangay Development School.
yeah, a BDS.
BDS.
Yes, because it's like a lab. It's like the teaching lab for students who are pursuing the BS Ed degree program. So those are very powerful laboratories, no? Although we still have one that exists in CMU, and that is the CMU Laboratory High School. And we're gonna talk about it because you were one of the faculty then in that school, and it's one of the best high schools I think in the country. So yeah, the training there is really absolutely well. Yeah, okay. Although I remember something, but anyway. Okay, so thank you for that, Ali. Let's say that's your brief academic background. You haven't actually scratched the surface yet because you are an alumnus of the CMU LHS, that is CMU Laboratory High School. But where did you go for your BS? I know where you went, but please share to
Yeah,
viewers later.
I have a Bachelor of Arts in Communication and Media Studies degree from Mindanao State University, main campus, Marawi City. Ganun. Lanao del Sur, yeah. So yeah, why I chose the course.
Mm-hmm.
I actually wanted to take biology, Ma'am Joy, and or forestry. Honestly, in the
Okay.
simukat form, my priority course is forestry, second is biology, and
Mm-hmm.
third is in BS Ed English.
Mm-hmm. That's Simukat, ha? Simukat
Simukat,
is
yeah, or
CMU.
CMU.
And
And
then,
I was actually on the June 2 June 2 enrollment of CMU. Yeah. So no one was actually like in the line for forestry that time. That's why I was so hesitant to go because almost all my classmates were in the nursing, accountancy. But it was really my dream to become a forester or biologist because that's what I've told you. Growing up, I'm so close with nature. And then I realized, especially in high school, when we had genetics na subject, Ma'am Jay, doon ako na-realize na, hala, time pa. I'm having a hard time. But then in CMU Lab, naaman ni elective courses, Jorn and speech. And nag-enroll ko sa speech and definitely nag-enjoy ra gyud ko entire school year. That's why dadto na ako na realize na I'm really into people. I'm really into for the people, for the public, and I really love talking. Ganon.
ganon. And then you said something before this official conversation. But anyway, sige, okay. So you went to MSU, Marawi City. Definitely MSU, Marawi City had a very good reputation for arts programs, music, literature, what else? Theater even. Uh, yeah, I know that you did theater there, I think. So we're gonna talk. Maybe we will talk about that later on. So this is just hopefully this is okay for everybody. This is a very unscripted conversation. Um, so anything under the sun, I could ask Leo. Oh my God, sorry. Leo. Okay. Leo DiCaprio.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's it. And then, did you pursue uh, graduate studies after? Should I
Yeah.
ask you that now, or you don't want to answer that
It's
question?
okay with me.
So after
Like,
you did your BS, of course, I know that you pursued graduate programs.
um,
And so, or do you want us to talk about it later?
it's okay anytime.
Okay, so do share more about your academic background after your BS, or no? Let's go back to MSU because I've been to your campus once. I love the
Really?
campus. Yeah, I was there for in 2011. We evaluated the BSA program
All right, right.
together with, of course, then the president. Oh no, she was VPAA then. Dr. Maria Luisa Sullivan was then the VP
Ah,
for Academic Affairs. And then she, of course, became the eighth president of the university. We were together evaluating the BSA program of MSU Marawi. So, and then the funny thing is that I requested the dean if they would allow me to enter the mosque, the campus mosque. And he always said yes, 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 but actually they never allowed me to enter the mosque. So I don't know, maybe it's cultural, but I understood. Okay, so what did you do? Because I know you to be a very talented person. I know you to be talented. So can you please share, aside from pursuing your studies, aside from focusing on your courses, academics, what else did you do? Because I know that you are one of the young people who did a good balance of your academics and your extra academic work. I know that you did theater, so could you please start with that?
right.
And did you run for any student leadership position, etc., etc.? Because I know that you have a lot of young people who follow you. So
Thank
yes.
you, guys. Yeah. Ma'am J, I don't know if I would love your question, but I will answer definitely. In high school, everyone knows me because I was the most active student, especially when it comes to leadership. Like, yeah, they know me not because of my academic background, but because of my leadership and my communication skills. I'm always loud, you know. So when I arrived at MSU, I was I'm a very sanguine, choleric person in high school. Like, yeah, that's it. But
Mhm.
when I arrived at MSU, my classmates were like valedictorians, salutatorians, or honorable mentions, and then most of them had the chance to join NSPC, RSPC, the SPC. So in our first major subject, our professor asked us, "O kinsa na experience, blah blah blah," and then she noticed me why I wasn't raising my hand, and then I answered, "Unsa ano pala yan, ma'am?" Tapos she was so shocked, and then she said, "Are you sure you are really for this course?" And then she asked me, "Are you a member of the school organ, school paper?" "No, ma'am, but I contribute lang when they would ask for points about life or about something." "And
Mm.
then, do you have any background in journalism?" I said, "No, ma'am, I only have like essays in my English subject." And
I know.
then,
Sige, go.
and then she told me that, "I think you are in the wrong
Oh
course."
my gosh.
So that really changed me.
That challenged you.
First changed me, really, ma'am. And then I would agree challenge. Because after that one, the Leo, I mean, I was really known for Efren in high school, the number one very famous guy. But in MSU, I became Leo or Leo. After that one, I would sit literally at the back because most of my classmates are ladies, man. So a bit shorter when it comes to the physical structure. So I would always sit at the back and I would never participate in class unless the professor will ask me or my opinion.
Seriously?
I was not really like the most silent, but I was just really silent every time I'm inside the classroom from from until third year.
Mm. So you
So
bloomed in your senior year.
yeah, so that's why I was really thinking about your question if I could inspire other people. But yes, I will tell them that they need to balance because my life that time, MJ, was just really boarding house and studies for that year.
Mhm.
And my technique was that I don't want to be on top always because my that specific instructor had trust issues. But my other instructors, to tell you honestly, Ma'am Joy, with humility, especially when we were already having our major subjects, they really said that, hey, you are amazing. Why is it that you box yourself? But I don't tell them because of that trauma, because I have a follow-up experience with that professor when she said that I need to interview her. And when I interviewed her, she told me that this is the wrong process and I don't have ethics at all. So the more nga nawala ako ang moral as a student. Yeah. So, fast forward no, daghan kay kog naingon. Third year, third year, second semester, about to go na for our internship. Among department is like i-dissolve na siya kay gamay ra daw ang ga-enroll. Mhm. So gi-challenge mi sa among department chair nga really to shine. So that's the moment I started expanding myself kay mahadlok jud ko masawayan na pod. And when I really expressed myself and especially having my major subjects, dadto na ako like literally I could ace my subject. Yeah, don't get me wrong, but to that point, ma'am, that yeah, I'm really on top of my class na, ganon. I joined debate club
Mhm.
and I won the grand championship for the it's my first time.
Congratulations.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was my first time joining and we won. I was also one of the best speakers. I
Mhm.
joined the school the college publication and even a department. I joined theater as well.
I saw your picture perform. I mean, do your performance, I think.
Yeah. So it was about Maranao culture, which it was also to my advantage because most of the Maranao dance steps for male are like stiff and like something like that. So and sort of an acting.
Mm.
Yeah. So I joined campus organization. So I said it's never too late. So for those students who are listening right now, there are really battles that you need to win. So, and for me, it came so late, but at least I chose really to prove to challenge myself.
Right, right. So I
Marami akong nasabi. Sorry, Ma'am Jay.
no, you don't have to apologize, but it's very good. On hindsight, I think that professor did you good because although at the first at the first response, it was a little bit negative to you, but I think his or her challenge persisted at the back of your brain that you gathered strength, and finally in your junior year and in your senior year it was the proper time, it was the right time for you to sort of bloom. So I think I had this had this usual train of thought even with Gmail, my first guest for the conversation, that the difficulties actually there are blessings behind every difficulty. And even if you had a sort of negative experience on your first semester in that campus, I think that was the fuel for you to really uh, you know bloom in your junior and senior year. So it was the right time for you. And so look at you, well-rounded. And we never talked about this one. We have talked
Yeah.
so many times that we never talked about this one. So I'm glad that I asked about it because I would never have known that you had this kind of experience. I thought you were always this jolly, easygoing person because that's how I know you. And sometimes I need to sort of temper your extra energy.
Yeah.
Even for the information of everybody, I first met Leo, Lee. I first met Lee when he was an instructor here at the College of Ag. I think, di ba? Yeah.
College of
So
Agriculture.
I'll be asking, of course, him about his work experience or work history. But for the information of everybody, I met him when he was teaching at the Department of Development Communication. So very related to his expertise. And then we worked together. So it's really funny. We worked together at the Trio at the
I
university.
will share something about that one.
Yeah, later. But I'm just trying to recall. And then after that, I was so surprised when you actually approached me. You know, there was this time near the cluster building that you approached me because I really don't know you personally. And then you just said hi. And okay, fine. And then I think we sort of talked a little bit. And then we worked together at the at the press relations and information office. He was my boss.
You're my boss.
He was he was technically my boss because he was the director of that office. Although I sort of was an adjunct, I have an adjunct responsibility in that office before him, but he became my boss. And then here comes this person oozing with so much energy, and I was the older person. And why is this guy? You know, his energy is just everywhere. So I think I sort of helped temper his energy or channel his energy better. Anyway, so that's it. And then when I sort of left an office, the international relations office, he was the first person in mind I thought who would take over me. So this is really funny, no? The how do you call it? Deja vu? It's not deja vu. I don't think that's the right term, but you know, the connectivity that we have formed. People like Jeric, like Jimay, like the other people I've talked to in this series, they're like, okay, never had any early relationships, but then yeah, we just sort of clicked no matter how wide was the age gap. But anyway, so yeah, I asked you about your academic background. I'm so happy. Thank you for what you said. Na for many students, it could never be too late for them. I know that it's true for a lot of people. Sometimes they find their voice even in their senior year. They find the call for leadership. They find the call to, you know, share their gifts. I always believe that everyone is gifted, and it's such a shame and it's such a waste of gifts if we don't get to have the courage to, you know, be a little bit vulnerable, because people like you, I know you're gifted. I've said that several times already. But it takes a lot of courage. People will never know that I was a very shy person because they thought that I'm never shy. I'm actually shy, but I'm very shy. But then, oh my God, my parents were pushing me since high school to do this and do that, to be involved in activities like that and this and that. So I was able to, you know, tame my stage fright, hide my stage fright. I still get nervous whenever I face you know, a group of people physically, but I've learned the techniques to hide those things. But the good thing is that you allow yourself to become vulnerable. So taking courage to step out from your box or your cocoon means that you're going to expose yourself a little bit and become vulnerable to people's comments, criticisms, and that. But at the end of the day, I think the joy of overcoming the fear and the nervousness would have a higher percentage compared to, you know, still the thought of a little bit of shyness and fear and shame. I'm not sure if you can, but I think that could be true for you too. Okay, so what did you do after? Did you graduate with honors from you?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, mungaw naman good ko good. So I sort of have a little, you know, tidbits of the information, but I could not.
Okay, Ma'am J.
Did you graduate? Was it magna cum laude or cum laude?
No. Cum laude. Yeah,
Oh,
because,
diba?
yeah, I graduated as cum laude because wala naabot akong score, ay akong grade sa for Magna. And yeah. Yeah, and debater of the year and some other awards.
Okay, maybe I'm gonna meet you, and I'm thinking of talking to Earl Gwen. So
Earl.
Earl Gwen is of course a well-known
Rest
debater,
my case
and
na Earl.
so I hope to talk to him next month. He already said yes, but I need to find a
Oh.
thread. I need to set the time for our conversation. But I really love I really love listening to people who are involved in debates,
Oh.
assessing their logic and assessing their ability to to address each point, because um, there are people who just debate and just prepare the topics or what they need to speak about. There are some people who became debaters who do not know how to respond to the actual issues being raised in the actual debate, right?
Yes.
Because I really bow talaga ako, tsaka saludo ako sa mga debaters na even if they have the prepared speeches, even if they have the prepared rebuttal or whatever speeches, but the proper debate is actually to listen to what your opponent is saying and take note of all the issues that are being raised, and you're supposed to address each of those issues, to rebut or to, well, if you're in the opposing team, definitely. And that's the proper debater. But I've witnessed several debates wherein, what? Is that a real debate? You're just reading your prepared speech. Sorry. Okay. Why are you saying that? Sorry, ha.
It's okay. I mean, no comment.
Well,
Yeah.
that's my comment, because I think that needs to be corrected. There are people who pride themselves of being debaters, but I don't really agree.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
It's just a speech, ma'am, kung ganun.
Exactly. Well, this is raw and real conversation. So this is unedited.
Speaking of debate, ma'am, because in my subject, elements of voice and diction and public speaking, my professor is Ma'am Surhaila Latif Yusuf. I would never forget that name.
Say that again. Because
Professor Surhaila Latif Yusuf.
Sorhaila. So that is she or he?
She's also from UPLB, master's degree in DevCom and master's degree in language and communication at University of Cardiff, somewhere in UK, I think. So in one of our major classes, she really told me na, Leo, ganito ka pala, parang ganun, but hindi ka ganito in the past years? And then, as what I told you, hindi ko lang sinabi. And then, during graduation, she's a Mara now, she really hugged me and she said, Ma'am Joy, na, this is my first time hugging. You know naman now, it's bawal.
Yeah, yes.
But have confidence, because I always believe in you, but you're the one not believing in yourself, but I will believe in you. And after this graduation, I know that you will become very successful and you will become one of our best graduates. And then she hugged me. So literally umiyak ako, Ma'am Joy, kasi I never imagined na inato de iyang perception sa ako. And then true kay she was so proud of me in the recent years, and even when I was already an instructor at the university, when I became the chief of RIO and IRO. And
yeah, my director.
Yeah, so important po siya day, Ma'am Jay, no? It's a big factor, like mentors like you in the university. And when you say something to these students that we don't know that they are struggling, it matters, and they will bring it until they grow old.
Yeah, and on hindsight, because it's my first time to hear this part of your story. So remember, you started with a terrible experience with a professor,
Yeah.
and then you ended your stint at MSU Marawi with a wonderful experience, remembering a professor who impacted your life until now. So I think both professors made you better. I think
Yeah.
professors made you better. But the way how the universe used them was just very different. And I can relate with what you said, because now this is really, we're just having this conversation, because yeah, it's absolutely right. Some students could perceive you with a very positive impact in your life, and some would perceive you with a negative impact on my life, and I'm not an exception to that. Some people, are very grateful. Some are very grateful that they have been mentored by me, but some some would avoid me as much as they could, because maybe it's not just the right fit. And that's why these days I would always tell some of my students, um, do you think I would be the right mentor for you? Because you've heard of the stories about me. And Jerick actually in my previous talk said, it's very funny to hear the paradox about me.
Yeah.
He thinks I'm very kind, but I could also be very tough. And but that's, I think every person has a set of paradoxes, right? Yeah, as a person is both a saint and a sinner.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you just need to, you know find the right people. But just like what I'm trying to share with you, because I'm not an exception when going back to when we talk about professors. I've had terrible professors, I've had terror professors way back in Los Baños, but I had a very different approach for them. I just think of them like, okay, medyo mahirap tong professor na to. But my challenge, which I actually shared with Jime, sabi ko, my challenge would always be, I'm gonna try to challenge myself to be able to, you know, uh, understand this professor, at the level. If I can predict his train of thought or her train of thought, then I'm good there. Because as I've said, iba-iba naman talaga yung approach. But at the heart of every professor or teacher, I think there's always something positive there. They want to pass on learning and knowledge. Iba-iba lang yung style. So that's why I would say, on hindsight, being sort of your ate, na the professor whom you encountered in your first year and the professor impacted your life in your junior or senior year, both did you well.
Yeah.
Both did you well. I would say that. Okay, so all right, all right. Because look at you. Hey, you are, you are behind you is the flag of the Philippines. So that means that that means you're occupying a very important position. For the information of everybody, Leo is occupying a very important position in the local government unit of Valencia City. Of course, he can tell you about that later on, but I think this part of his journey was also was also connected because he also dabbled in leadership. He did say Leo said that since high school he was known for his leadership rather than for his academics. And in his upperclassmen years at MSU Marawi, he also regained his footing about service and leadership. Okay, so sige. But let's have some light questions first, because I've never asked you this also. The funny thing is that we have talked so much, so many times, that I've never asked you this light questions that I've never asked you. So these are some of my light questions.
Light questions.
Light questions.
All right.
What's your favorite book?
Favorite book is the Prince of Tides by Pat Conroy.
Yeah, which was made into a movie.
Yeah.
Prince of Tides, which was made into a movie starring Barbara Streisand and Jeff. I forgot the actor, but I also watched that movie, and I have the book also.
Oh, really?
I have a copy of the book. It's very thick. It's a thick book. I love Pat Conroy because Pat. Okay, why is that your favorite book? Because it's about you, not me.
Basically, ma'am, that time when I was reading, I always have resentment about my father because he was so strict growing up. But there I understand that, as fathers or as men, we try really to fake or to mask our emotions and feelings. And it was really the relationship between his father and, of course,
Yeah,
the
that's always the story of I think in most of Pat Conroy's books, it's always about family
yeah,
struggles. So yeah, I understand that. And by the way, if you don't mind, Leo, your father passed away. Sorry about this, but your father passed away when? How old were you?
um ni- 19
Before you graduated, right? From MSc.
Yeah, before I graduated
Before
from
you
MSc.
graduated. Yeah, well, my father was also very strict. The fact that he was S1 adjutant in high school, he never went to college actually, but he was S1 adjutant, so he thought that he would command us like like ROTC. He was he was disciplinarian, but I think that was his way of caring. Your dad, that was his way of caring, and sometimes it's just maybe you should have asked your father or you should have asked your mom how was his father like, because if he didn't have a if your paternal lolo also had the same demeanor, then he never had a different kind of model for fatherhood, na na ganito super super expressive, because I think we both have fathers who were not very expressive in words, but I think they show their love in different ways. My father would cook me whenever I come home on weekends. He would cook because I love very simple dishes, but he would remember to cook them whenever I'm home. And he's never vocal. He's not wordy, but I think that was how he expressed his love. So anyway, but so going back, so see, oh my God, just book lang yung tinatanong ko.
Yeah, I'm shocked, Ma'am Joy, that you know that book.
Of course, I know the book. I love Pat Conroy after I watched the movie because I love Barbara Streisand. Although
Mhm.
not really love because I don't like buy stuff. But I watched the movie and I love it. And so whenever I go to the bookstore, especially to the book sale bookstore, I'm advertising. This is not sponsored, sorry. But and then and there's another book, a very thick one again, and I finished it overnight, reading it overnight, and I got sick because I was crying so hard. So while reading the book, I think the title of the book was The Beach,
Beach music.
something like that. And
Beach music.
oh yeah, and I got so sick after. I had fever after because all the emotions. I was just crying all through it, but I couldn't put the book down. So okay, so this is a testament that we really have a lot of things in common, and yeah, I definitely love Pat Conroy. But goodness gracious, I have to move on to the next question. Maybe we can have part two of the conversation next time. I think we need to have a part two. We need to have a part two because especially when you will be somewhere out there. Okay, well we'll wait. We'll talk about that later on. So you have a favorite book, which I also like. It's not my favorite book, but I really like.
How about you, Ma'am? What's your favorite book?
Oh no, it's not about me. I have a lot of
All right.
I have like how many favorite books.
Ah.
So right now the authors are just the names of the authors are just flooding my brain, but it's not about me. The conversation's not about me. Suffice to say, we love the same author and book. What's your favorite song? Because I know you sing.
Oh,
I know you sing.
before, I really love Grow Old With You by Adam Sandler, but
Ah yeah, 50
yeah,
dates. 50 dates. That's from the movie 50
yeah,
Dates.
yeah, yeah. But in the recent years, the song that really had an impact in my life is "Leaves" by Ben and Ben.
Ay, nako, hindi ko ano yung mga younger, ano ngayon, bands.
Yes, Ben
Sorry.
and Ben, Ma'am J, I mean, many loves them because they're indie sila. They
Yeah.
actually, they are the one who also trained the musicians bitaw sa talaandig nilang waway-saway.
Ganon.
That's why Bukidnon has a very special place sa ilang heart
Right. So,
because dili daw sila nag-start something.
yeah, I know of Ben and Ben because my youngest brother also likes some of their songs, but I don't know their songs.
Alright.
I know it's different. They have a different genre and different groove, and I've never efforted myself to sort of research their songs. Maybe the melody is not yet very attractive to me, but now that you said it, maybe I would be interested to research Leaves. But educate me. What is Leaves about? Although I know leaves, the organs for photosynthesis.
Yeah, naulaw nun ko. But Ben and Ben is very like unique sa ilahang contemporaries. Ang ilahang mga titles sa song like na sila Roots, Upuan, Leaves. So Leaves is like a song about moving on. That there's always
so leaves na hindi leaves. Leaves really,
Ang
or
leaves.
leaves na I'm leaving.
leaves na dahon.
Okay. So why is it about moving on? I don't understand.
Leaves.
Sige nga, what's the chorus?
But the thought is all will be all right in time, just like the leaves. Like the leaves will grow, diba? When you cut it will grow and it will be all right in time because that moment of my life was really hard. That was in 2019. That's after Sayap.
Yeah,
I really had depression that time. And
now I
the
understand
song
why you like the
was,
song now.
yeah, was just fit. And you know what? The best thing of Jay in 2019, they had their concert here at there pala, at Malaybalay. Here in Bukidnon at Malaybalay, March 20 during my birthday. So during the concert, I was seated on the side lang, but I really shouted, "Happy birthday! Thank you so much, Miguel!" And then the singer.
Wow. So I think that was oh my God, this is me talking like an old person. I think it was an affirmation of the universe for you. People would be surprised why I'm talking about this when I'm into science. I'm hardcore. My field is hardcore science, but I also believe in other things that don't need science to be explained. So, yeah. So now I understand why you like that song now.
Leaves will soon grow from the bareness of trees, and all will be all right in time.
Exactly, because I know a little bit of your story related to that. Yeah. So as long as you have the faith to trust, you know, how the design for your life, there will always be a season for pruning and a little bit. Pruning is painful. So if you think about plants, pruning is very painful. Branches will be cut and other things. But whoever is the gardener, whoever is the caretaker also knows that after a few weeks or months, the plant could bloom better. Yeah. So that's why.
It's a very nice analogy.
Okay.
Go.
Okay ka. Okay, sige. So leaves. And then, what's your favorite film?
Film.
Yes. See, this is very...
That is a hard question.
Why? Film or movie? What's your favorite film or movie?
The Harry Potter series, actually.
Yeah, I'm also a Harry Potter geek. Yeah, I understand, definitely. Why?
No,
what about it?
Not really
I know. Sige.
a geek sa HP, ma'am, but nag-start mo gud siya in year 2000, so that was katong medyo na nakoy buot. And then nahuman ang film pag human pud na ko og college. So for me talk, this is really for my generation, for my batch. And I always believe in the power of friendship ba. And in Harry Potter, iba datoy line Nagingnan niya si Voldemort, you will never win because you don't know this feeling, the love of friendship, something love, something. So, we're
Yeah.
like, wow. Pero very
Yeah.
fun.
I have all the books. I have all the Harry Potter books, except for book number 4 because somebody borrowed it and never returned. And then I at first I felt so bad that one of my books was missing, but I said, okay, I'll think it that way, that that book is very useful to that person. That's why he or she forgot to return it to me.
We think that way na lang ka, Ma'am Jay.
Yeah, thinking that way. But yeah, so I like the fact, I do agree with you also. So one of the book series I also appreciate is Harry Potter. But when you said about the power of friendship, remember it's all about magic.
Yeah.
And I believe that one of the magical things in the world that cannot be fully explained is the magic of friendship. So I think you're the kind of person who has a lot of friends. I'm the kind of person who has very few friends. I have a lot of acquaintances, but
You're my friend.
of course you are my friend.
You're very
Thank you.
special friend.
Yeah, thank you.
God knows that.
Yes, yeah. So see, the funny thing is that I have a lot of very young friends. No, but the thing is that you're a very personable person. You have a lot of friends. On the other hand, me, I have a very few friends, but the friends I have are for a lifetime. Eh, And yeah, those are my friends for a lifetime. I'm very not I'm not choosy, but I just don't I don't want to float around seeking friends. That's just my philosophy. I don't need a lot of friends. I just need a very few very good ones.
I think I would agree on you on that, Ma'am Jay, that it's okay to be choosy because this is I want to have my safe space and I could not give it to anyone or anyone, not anyone can give it to me.
Mm-hmm.
Ay, parang ganun.
Parang ganun po siya. But going back to Harry Potter, I'm so happy that you mentioned about friendship as one of the ultimate advantage of a friend of a person who has friends. Yeah, I'm glad you brought that out because once you started mentioning about Harry Potter as your favorite, movie film series, what actually I would remember would be what J.K. Rowling said. So J.K. Rowling became the commencement speaker of Harvard University way back in 2008, I think, and because Harvard University, like the campus for Gryffindor. It's like the Gryffindor campus with all the red banners and things like that. So, but one of the things that she said, and I think it's a quote, it's one of the best quotes from her that um, she said, "You don't. My book is about magic, and I became very popular about Harry Potter and magic, but we don't need magic in order to to contribute to the world. We don't need magic because magic is really just something that maybe is in our imagination. Magic is something that we wish for is real, but we don't need magic in order to contribute to making the world a better place. We can just use our imagination to do real things that are good and that make us happy. And I remember Simon Sinek said that if making people feel good makes you feel good, then go out there every day, try to make as many people better and as good, because if making people feel good make you feel good, then if making people feels sandali ha, if making people makes you feel good, go out there in the world every day and make as many people as you can feel good, because you actually you benefit from all of these. So yan. Ang dami nating daladal. Paano ba yan? Hindi na to.
Andre, light questions lang yun, ha?
Yeah, light. Those are our light questions. Okay. I have 2 more light questions.
Fire.
Fire. Who's your favorite actor or actress?
Actress. Hello.
This is not a slum book, ha? But who's your favorite actor or actress? Local or international? Doesn't matter. But who's your favorite actor or actress? Or somebody who acted on a film that really also impacted you?
acting skills, it's kinsa man. Ano hindi ko
Those are some of them. Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, I cannot answer.
Really?
I mean, I don't really have like someone in mind na best because mura bitag na ako always mga alahi man good ni siya og role. Di po na ko siya ma-compare ani nga person or nga actor ana.
Okay.
Yeah.
In my
Probably, I could answer later.
Okay, sige, think about that. But sige, I'll just share with you. I have a lot of people I admire. Actors and actresses I admire, local and international. But when it comes to it's more for me, there are so many movies I like, and I usually fall in love with the character of the movies I like, but it's more of knowing that the work history of the actor or the actress. So there are many who are method actors. You do theater, so I think you understand what is method, which means that ano bang method acting? They really live it. Tama, di ba? They really live it. So one of the people whom I know based on history is that based on the story is Christian Bale. So Christian Bale, do you know Christian Bale?
No.
It's okay. You can research later on. So Christian Bale used to be Batman, and he used to star in Psycho, the American Psycho. No, I don't watch those. Those are not my favorite movies. But Christian Bale is the kind of person who really prepares for the movie, for the role. So let us say for the American Psycho movie, I'm not sure of the title, but he was required to look very undernourished. Okay, like to weigh only this much. Okay, so he did that. He like his bones and skins were so prominent because that was required of the role, and he did that. And then there was another movie when he was required to beef up, so he had to eat up so much in order to gain this size. So that kind of commitment just for a role, like wow, that's amazing. The discipline, the commitment to the role, even if you look bad or ugly or good. Yeah, I like that kind of. There's so many like Jodie Foster, so many, my goodness. But it's more of appreciating how the actors do their work. You know, the kind of work that, the kind of preparation that they do. Sige, since you cannot, but you can answer later on. Last light question. Just ko, mag-ang oras na tayo.
Yeah.
Last light question. What is your favorite travel destination?
Japan.
Have you been to Japan? Or you were still going to Japan?
I've been to Japan in 2017, 18.
What was that again? Was it for Genesis? Were you part of Genesis? What's your program?
Say up.
Oh, yeah. Well, because you have to travel among the Southeast Asian countries. Yeah. It's actually in one of my questions here. Sige, so you went to Japan way back. When was that?
2018.
2018. I was in Japan in 2009. That's my first travel to Japan. And
for
then
IATS? IAT?
Yeah, for the IATS program.
Yes.
It's a forum. It's a leadership forum. It's a forum for 1.5 months for the young leaders of Asia. O, di ba? Parang, tapos hindi ako naging young leader of Asia. I was just young leader of Barangay Aglayan.
CMU is still part of Asia.
Anyway, I'm not even active in Aglayan. Oh my God. Sorry. Anyway. So that was 2009. And then I went there again for a 3-day meeting when I was IRO in Chukubay. So yeah, we have a lot of parallels. Like you've been to Japan, and yes, Japan is also one of my. I want to go back to Japan. It's just a beautiful country. So anyway, So why Japan? Sige nga.
Why Japan? I prepared for this question during my interview sa embassy before. Kasi number one, growing up sa our generation, that time, Ma'am Joy, every afternoon, all our animes, di ba?
Yes.
Even on weekends. And
example, like what?
Dragon Ball Z, Flame of Recca, Hunter x Hunter, Pokemon, Astro
Batmate
Boy.
mo ang aking mga kapatid.
Yeah. Pokemon, Hunter x Hunter. So, especially Pokemon, because I'm really I really love Pokemon. So yeah. And and then growing, I realized how disciplined the Japanese are. And that's the kind of life I want to live, the quality of life, because they respect all elements surrounding them. The environment, the people. Diba you shared me about their trash bins na sobrang dami, and then when I went there, pag adun ako sa basurahan, ikakita ko na yun. So, Ma'am Joy, ginagil niya na yun. Tinood yun di ay. So, yeah, everything is like, I mean, the word discipline will be felt there. And naman yun na sa ato how do we want to live our life. But that's a quality of life I would want to have or to live with. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why Laban Japan.
Okay, Laban Japan. And of course, Leo is going there in a few
Praying.
days. Sige, but I'd like to comment back to what you said. I had a different mindset because at first I never had any positive opinion about Japan. Sorry, I grew up with the sad stories of the World War
Right.
II. So from my lolo, from other people, all they could share with me was the story of the World War II. And so I've heard more, the negative stories rather than the positive stories. But I do appreciate also, although I'm not a fan, but I did watch some of those animes because my younger two brothers were crazy about those things. So Dragon Ball Z, Pokemon, you're like Sandy Jan, who's a crazy
Yeah.
Pokemon fan. But I was so happy to go to Japan because I qualified for the IATS program, but I never knew about it. It was Dr. Anthony Panas, a Sarton, who recommended me to apply, and it was very competitive, and I did apply and got lucky to be one of the two delegates, no, very competitive, two delegates of the Philippines to that forum, and I was maybe it was meant to be. It was meant to be that I should go there because my eyes opened up. So it's so you at least ikaw you love it. You love Japan and you love some parts of their culture, and me, it was an eye opening for me. So that's why I appreciated my time there. Food, culture, people, agriculture, politics, their kindness, their discipline, their value for time. But most of all, I really valued the most their declaration for peace. And that's why it was the most important thing for me that they declared they had a national declaration for peace that never again that they would enter into a war. Because yeah, that yeah, kana siya. Sige, but it's not about me. This conversation is not much about me. Although, we have this is a conversation. But so I usually
Yeah.
react and
Yeah, I agree. Conversation, it's not just for me, but
yeah, it's a two-way
involves
traffic.
two people.
Right. So thank you, Lee, for answering my light questions. So we go back to the top questions. So yeah, going back, but it's connected. I'd like you to share a little bit more about your international experiences. The reason why you appreciated Japan and because you were part of the SIAP program. And I know about the SIAP because I've had several friends and good brothers and sisters who I did even try for SIAP, and I think I was only the first runner up at Region 10, levels of Region 10. So hindi ako na-choose sa Region 10. But I know about SEAP. So can you please tell us about SEAP, because I think it's one of the most important things that impacted your life. It has cemented I think your principle about being a Filipino citizen, being a young leader, being even without position. So you don't have to be a leader. You don't have to have a position or a role or a rank to be a leader. Leadership for me is about service. And yeah, whether people see you serving others or if you're recognized for the service, that's good. But leadership for me is really about serving others. So can you please tell us, because I wish CMU, by the way, has a good record of alumni who qualified for the SEAP. So maybe yun yung reason na, because I'm not a CMU alum, no? Hindi ako na-qualify sa SEAP. But there's so many of you, like Mary Anava, I call her Ate Ann, and then Dina Rafael de los Reyes, of course, Rafi, and you, and Kent Primor,
Kent Primor,
and then you, and I think naapa si
Jessica,
and then meron pa si
Janisa.
Ang dami yung SEAP. Ako lang hindi nakapasok sa SEAP because hindi ako CYA, as in ako CME alumna. That's really funny. But it's not a big deal. So, because I think the CMU studentry is a minefield of possible SEAP qualifiers. So please tell us what is SEAP, and then how did you apply for it, and how has it impacted you as a young Filipino?
So I'll make it short lang. I'll start with this one. My mantra in life: delayed gratification for fruit comes in proper season. Yeah, as an
say that again. Say that again.
Delayed gratification for, I always believe in delayed gratification for fruit comes in proper season.
Amen to that.
And as an agriculturist, mom, you know that the fruit is always best if it's on its ripe, not really ripeness, but I don't know what's the term.
It has achieved the right physiological maturity.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'll start that one. In 2015, I applied for SEAP because I always fail. That time, I don't know, but before, grabe ang SEAP. Di ba? Kung yung SEAP, like the best youth sa Asia, sa ASEAN and Philippines, of course. I applied in 2015. I ranked 1 sa region, kaya di ba by region man na. I ranked number 1 sa region, so kung ma-rank ka number 1, technically ma-appeal na ka sa finalist. But unfortunately, from an insider, wala ko na-appeal. Ako ang wala nila ga-appeal kay. They only choose 28 people. After that one, na-change yun akong life. Kay first na ako to siya nga defeat, para sa ako mamba, first na ako siya nga life na every time I want something, I work hard for it, makuha gid nako. First time nako wala gid nako. So, focus ako sa akong work sa CMU.
Oh, I didn't know that. Know that.
And then in 2016, December, nag-call for application ang National Youth Commission of the Philippines nga na ASEAN Korea. So mura daw siya SEAP pero 2 weeks ra siya sa Korea. And then I said, no, I will not apply anymore. No. And then the theme was about the effect of K-pop music among the youth. And then ang nag-urge ako, kaya ako ang thesis advisor because my thesis was basically the effects of K-pop music among the youth. So he said, this is so perfect. Kato siya nga, professor na ako, Ma'am J, SEAP po siya. So ano siya nga, don't lose hope. Di na gid mo time. I said, no, din ako mahadlok na mag-apply. So, ang ending, nag-apply ko, pero wala ko nag-expect madawat. So, that's why in 2016, I represented the Philippines together with 5. I was the leader for the Philippine delegation. Char! So, sa ako man, dapat yun ako i-prove sa NYC ako yung wala gipili. Char! Pero, no, I know, good Ma'am J, with humility, I know ba nga, I have experiences and I have lessons that I really want to share to to my fellow youth sa ASEAN region. So there na mga contest and nadaog mi tanan, so something like that. So and then gidalan ako ang thesis, tas gipapermahan ako sa ilahang kanang head sa ministry sa youth affairs something. So happy kay ko dato na boost, and then pagbalik na ako, muna din to, grabe na akong pagka-empower to have really youth empowerment and development sa City of Valencia. Dato na din may nag-start of ingon na lang ako karon basta later. Basta na something nag-gather me sa youth sa Valencia and make programs, activities para sa youth. We call our organizations Valencia City Youth Council. we are composed of young professionals and student leaders nga maghimo gyud og programs para sa youth sa city kay that time grabe ang report sa mga away-away sa mga gang. So eventually it really helped the city, the fact that gi-acknowledge mi sa city, like ang mayor and officials would tap us for the activity. So that was in 2016. So happy kay ko because everything was so doing well. Grabe ang improvements sa youth participation, less na ang crime rates nga nahitabo sa mga youth and mga gang wars. And on the last and on that same year, nag-invite ka, you're still the head of IRO. With
Yeah.
you invited Kuya Ryan and team from Yes Embassy, and they had this session for their programs, and I was included in that session. And then I was just there because I was one of the organizers, of course, ibang kato. And then Kuya Ryan asked me, unsa day ka, Leo? So, kung ang share mo ni ko sa Valencia, Kuya. Ay, IRO na day ko ato, ma'am. IRO na day ko ato, pero ikaw,
For the information of everybody, IRO means basig iro
iro.
International Relations Officer or International Relations Director actually or head. Okay, sige, go to your
Yeah, so-
conversation with Ryan Louis Madrid, okay?
Hi, Kuya
Yeah.
Ryan.
Hi, Ryan.
Miss Edge. Then mo to, Ma'am Joy, and he said na, apply for YCLE. And I told him, no, Kuya Ray, kay wala ko na dawat sa sayap.
Yeah.
Mugin na akong one. Wala ko na dawat sa sayap. Wala din ko karapatan. No, because YCLE is different, which is really different. It's more about your involvement in the community and its impact in your community and to the specific sector nga imuhang gitry o answer sa or try to put a solution.
Sige. What is YCLE? Because it's an acronym. And
Yeah.
but before that, go to SAYAP. What does it mean? Because SAYAP is SSE. Sorry.
SAYAP is an acronym for SHIP for Southeast Asian and Japanese Youth Program. So
Right.
basically, it's an ambassadorial program.
Right. And
More.
how long is the program?
The program runs from October to December
Like 6
every
months.
year.
No, 3 months.
Yeah, 3 months, including the pre-departure activities in every country.
So a
But
lot of
you will be on a cruise ship for 62 days, and you will go to different ASEAN countries. And when you go to these countries, you do courtesy calls to the head ministers, whatever. And you will be assigned to a specific topic. I was assigned at quality education.
right, which is
Some would
good.
be assigned for media. Topics related to issues to youth.
Right.
Yeah, so yeah. And then there, you will know and learn about that specific topic. Like in Japan, this is the education system, in Brunei, etc., etc. And then at the end of the program, you need to propose for an activity. Yeah, and then as a contingent, as a country, you also need to have your programs as a return of service.
Right. Your plan of entry, ang tawag doon, your entry plan.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you
So,
return to the Philippines.
For me, SAYAP really, ma'am, was more on the cultural and ambassadorial thing.
Right.
Because it's really more on sharing cultures among ASEAN leaders. It's really more of a culture and then diplomatic because you'll be meeting the top officials of every country.
Right, and that's for me, that's very admirable. That's very admirable because one of the pillars for peace actually, because of course we want the Southeast Asian region to be strengthened. And one of the pillars to establish a very good relationship among Southeast Asian countries is appreciation of everybody's culture. There's no perfect culture, but there are a lot of good things, great things about every culture. And that is one very admirable program. That's one very admirable logic of most of the Japanese initiated programs. I really love that kind of thing because it's the same for the IATs. Although we were so exposed to many, not just culture, but agriculture, environment, politics, education. So all the concerns that young leaders of Asia should be aware and should really chew on. No? So it's like a semi-debate, forum, panel discussion, roundtable discussion. basically they were just extracting so many of the crazy ideas we had and banking on our biases and other things, but they want to learn how young leaders in Asia think and think of the current situations, past concerns, and future opportunities. So yeah. So let's go to Y Series. What is Y Series? I know what's Y Series, but
Yeah.
please, what is Y Series?
So, na-follow ko sa tayo ng 2016, yeah. 2016 on December, I was informed that I was elected for YCD, and before Ma'am J, I remember nga ako ang report sa computer science sa college. Akong topic kay, like any topic will do daw for PowerPoint presentation. Akong topic was horror stories about the White House. So I said, I really want to go to this place. And then, yeah, in 2016, I was informed that I got
You got a slot.
the slot, 21 young leaders from Southeast Asia who had impact in their community. So, like, oh my gosh. So, Young Silly stands for Young Southeast Asian Leaders Initiative. So, it really focuses more on the leadership aspects of the youth,
Right.
again, in ASEAN region, and sharing your leadership principles, management skills, etc.
And Y Series is a program under the Obama administration. Okay.
And then you will also have a theme. For me, I was under the civic engagement program, so which is really fit for me that time, because when I was already at the University of Nebraska, because you'll be sent to an American university for 5 weeks to study about your theme, which is for me civic engagement. We really studied about the youth. So it was so perfect because that was also the time that we were building strengthening rather the youth sector in Valencia City.
Yeah, and if you think about it, no, almost everything, no, not almost. I think every part of your journey, from your high school to your crazy high school Leo, and to your experience in MSU IIT, MSU Marawi, I'm sorry, your journey through work and academics had prepared you for your current job, which is to be this. Am I correct to say that you are the city administrator?
No,
Sorry. Okay.
I'm not the city administrator. No.
Sorry, good.
City administrator attorney Cadigal is an alumnus of CMU.
Okay. So, but you work under,
I work under the office of the city vice mayor. I'm the secretary.
Of vice mayor, sorry, si Doc.
Doc Paul.
Doc
Really.
Paul. How is he? Is he, much better, stronger, healthier? Very good.
Always bouncing back and always prioritizing the health and safety for everyone.
Okay, so see, diba? Civic engagement, leadership, etc. And yeah, everything, the universe actually connects the dots. Even when we don't see them get connected, but I always believe that it connects the dots. The universe connects the dots for us, for you. So
I didn't agree. I would agree, Ma'am Jay, because to tell you honestly, when I was already at CMU, wala man dyan ko'y plan na head of office. Kaya gusto naman dyan ko mag-save for 1 year. Kay gusto ko mag-study og law. And ako'y scholarship, but I know it's not enough. And then, kibutang ko kalit sa Prio, and then you focus on your research and extension, and you suggested my name.
Focus on my research.
Naputang ko sa IRO, so it's like, okay.
No, because
I'm very thankful of all these opportunities.
Because okay, sige, why did I recommend you? Because I was allowed to resign from the office because I really asked I requested to focus on research, although I did not do much after that. I just rested. But what I said is I need to go back to my basic training. And when Dr. Sullivan asked me, I will allow you to resign if you can recommend somebody who can also do the kind of work that you do. And even I did have an experience. Come on, my training is plant breeding and genetics. I don't have training for admin work and other things like that. But one good thing I learned from my fields would be about organizing things and planning things and trying to execute them. And then I had to think of somebody who had an international experience, who would be open-minded and who would try to do, crazy things for the university. Crazy, not in a negative way, but crazy
Yeah.
in a positive way.
Crazy good,
And
crazy.
good crazy things. And you were the number one name in my so yeah. And the good thing about Dr. Sullivan is that she really trusts your choices and your opinion. So that yun ang isa kabutang. So sige. And let's go back to, you went to Nebraska, and now I remember that you gave me a few gifts.
Yeah.
Coming from Nebraska. But one of the best things I really loved that you brought me was the ball pen. I love pens. I love pencils. I love ball. So yeah, I use it. I consume the entire pen, the ink. So how was your experience in the US? How is it? I've never been to Nebraska, but I think I passed by Nebraska on one of the trips that I had. But how is it? How did your exposure in Japan, in the US for about a month?
Yeah.
5 weeks a
5
month.
weeks. Yeah.
And then you, of course, visited the White House.
Yeah.
Right. So please, because come on, that is such an inspiring, somebody from the province, was able to do that. I've never visited the White House. I've been in the US for almost 4 years, 3 years and 11 months, but I've never visited the White House. I've never been to the Washington DC, although I went to Maryland. I think I passed by Washington, but I never stopped there because I was a very serious student. Hindi ako palaging lagalag. Because my work, my studies also demand so much of my time. But please share a little bit, because I think young students in the senior high school programs in whatever part of Mindanao could also dream of, becoming like you or following your footsteps, going to Japan, visiting the US, things like that. And it was sponsored. By the way, these are sponsored travels. These are sponsored travels, which means that everything is paid for, and you just have to be committed to being cultivated, to being nourished by knowledge, experience, and a lot of other things. So can you please share a little bit about what did you do in Nebraska? Did you attend classes or lectures or etc.?
So in Nebraska, Ma'am J, again, we studied civic engagement. We have an academic class, an international class, and a special class. Academic class was our major theme, which is about leadership. So we studied about leadership and the many subs of leadership.
Mm-hmm.
In an international class, we had a class together with Americans and other nationalities. So it's like an international class. Like, kanabitong, makahila ko. Mumanggiling sa mga salida. Ngayon bitong nara mo sa murag atrium lang gamay ba.
Right.
Nakay classmates nga, hey there, like work ka na sa American movie.
So were you more active now? Because I remember what you said when you were at MSU Marawi, you were just content sitting at the back.
Yeah.
But when you went to the University of Nebraska, was it required of you to really voice out your thoughts, your ideas, to debate?
Yes.
Okay. Please
Yes,
share
ma'am. And we have a special class, kanang class na gusto gid na mo pilian and then mag-schedule mig one-on-one sa isa ka professor. So that time nagkuan ko global journalism and education. Duha ra mi ka sessions kay dili na may ito sa pilots. So yeah, we learned, and then after that one we went to different places in America. We went to South Dakota, we went to Oregon, and eventually our culmination was at the White House and present our our project upon return. But it should be collaborative.
What was your project?
Our project was Hand and Heel. So it's for journalists, because we want to give them a online platform where they could voice out or share their fears, their threats, and then consult to a psychologist, something. Kay di ba stressful kay mag-cover?
Yes.
Especially anana. But then when I was already here, I told my group mates if pwede ba na ako ma-change. Kaya that time, together with DM, Helping Humans Initiative, we have a community that we really need something, and then the university approved that project. So yeah, it's really here sa Bukidnon, sa Valencia. That's why we love it, and the university also love it. And after my YCLE, actually, Ma'am J, that was also the time that I kept on encouraging faculty and staff sa CMU to join. And CMU alumnus. After me, na ay tulo. One from forestry, then DM, then Sir King, and then Ma'am
Right.
Preza and Ate
Yeah.
LG.
Yeah, LG. But I think LG went for the
Genesis.
Genesis. Okay, but before you proceed, DM Alburo.
Mhm.
Okay, is also an alumnus of CMU. I think he's from the College of Arts and Sciences, siya, no?
Education, ma'am. Major
Education is a DM.
yeah,
Sorry.
English.
Okay, so DM is also in my bucket list for a
Yeah,
conversation.
yeah, yeah.
But hindi ko pa siya piniem. But I'm sure I'm also, God, it's going to be also a wonderful conversation with him. So DM Albor, because you mentioned that, and then HHI, the Helping Humans Initiative, it's really growing. And maybe DM and I can talk more about it. It's about volunteerism or the initiative to create a grassroots organization that serves the disadvantaged. And you're very active in it. But sige, later on. Kasi, oh my God, it's going to be about an hour and a half and we have a few things to cover. But it's okay.
Yeah.
Sige, I want to keep this under 2 hours or 2 hours at most.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so okay, so YCD. Okay. Did you meet Obama? Did you meet President Obama?
No, the time the president was already Trump.
What?
Yeah.
Oh my God, so sorry.
And then usually before, all the YCL would meet Obama, of course, because you will be presenting your projects at the White House.
Yes. Was he there? Did you meet President Trump?
He just waved and then went out.
Sorry.
And then in one of my classes, the professor said, introduce yourself. I'm Leo and I'm from the Philippines. And he said, Ma'am Joy, oh, you're from the Philippines. Your president and my president will become buddies. And then I was like,
I
don't want to react.
Follow this one anyway. But this is real
Just I don't know if he really waved, but the organizer said, President, what's it, the name again?
Donald Trump.
Donald Trump. President Donald Trump's there. And he just like peeked, waved, but we did not notice at all.
Yeah, I don't want to comment on that, but I really thought I really thought that you met Obama. Because I have a bias, of course, over Obama. He was from Illinois, and of course, he visited our university, University of Illinois in Urbana-Champaign, for a speech, but never had a chance to get a ticket because the ticket was limited to enter into the hall. So, but it's okay. Every experience for me, there's always a reason for that. Okay, so sige. And then that's why you and I belong to the USG. So there's for although I'm not very active in the USG. So USG Bukidnon, it means that the US government alumni, right? We are all both of us are beneficiaries of US government programs. That's why we are alumni of whatever program it is. You are a grantee of YCLE, minus Fulbright. That's why we also have an additional connection.
Yeah.
I wish that we could be more active. I wish I could be more active in the USG Bukidnon chapter. Oh my God. But anyway, sige lang. So that is your journey. And I'm sure you'll have, God, you have a long way to go, Dio. So, sige. So I'm curious, because of your experiences, both local and international experiences, because of a lot of nourishments you got about leadership. What is now your definition of leadership? And maybe I should have asked you earlier, or I could ask you now, before you had all these exposures, what was your idea? Because you said you were an active leader in high school, way back in high school. What was your idea of leadership then when you were in high school? And what is your idea of leadership now?
Love the question. Yeah.
Okay.
In high school, for me, leadership really is engaging everyone.
Even
Engaging
even in
everyone.
crazy activities.
You know how crazy I am, Joy. I know we have the same wavelength when it comes to something.
No, I'm not crazy enough.
No. Some out of the box, they say ideas out of the box, but for me, it's not really out of the box. Just something that you missed. Anyway, in high school, Ma'am J, you have organizations. Our organization, third year, social science club, we were just 21. My goal by the next year is to become the president of that organization and to become the most populous organization. And indeed, during my fourth year, we had almost 200 members out of the 500 plus.
What did you do? Did you dance and sing to attract more
No,
members?
I just literally made all the possible alluring strategies.
Such as what?
Especially from the lower years, you almost have. That's why when I ran for the SSG, parang usko then I really won, but I did not go rather for the president because I said I really want to engage with people. That's why I went to the PRO position, press relations officer, because every Monday you have the opportunity to announce. So every Monday I would always announce, "Hey guys, hi everyone, we have an announcement for you. Feel free to reach me after this one." So for me, that's my idea when it comes to leadership.
Okay, thank you for that. Engaging everybody as much as possible. So,
Because every opinion matters.
right. I agree with you. Although, let me comment on that because, of course, I also had exposures on leadership in high school, but I was more of the serious kind. Okay, but in at UPLB in my BS, one thing I learned because I entered a Christian community. It's called the Alleluia community, and it's based in the Alleluia community, AC, which became ACCYA or Christ Youth in Action. But one of the important principles of leadership that I learned for 4 years there was yung sinabi mo na engage everybody. Kasi my leaders taught me that even if you're in charge of arranging the chairs, wiping the chairs, preparing the juice, washing the dishes, that is an opportunity to serve. So leadership is about service. Leadership is not about being always in the spotlight. It's not about the spotlight. It's about the opportunity to serve. So whether I would just arrange chairs, I would sweep the floor before the prayer meeting or after the prayer meeting or any event that we had in the community, that was a huge opportunity for service. So I really value that. That's why I like what you said when you thought of so many crazy things, events, activities, because you would like to have to provide everybody the opportunity to be engaged with. So that's good. So let's jump to Leo. How old are you now?
Just really want to share one valuable during high school, ma'am, before I will proceed. Usually in acquaintance party, di ba, we have soft drinks. But that time, what I did sa amuang club, I ordered plastics because we can sell the plastics and we could use it for our project. So something like that. These are the crazy things na that time naglisod ang advisor kay naman joy bottled coke no nganong dadto because I have other plans. And then instead of having desserts, I ordered banana. Yeah, banana. Bananas and apples. So something like that because it should be a healthy dili lang ana-ana something mga crazy ideas. Something like that. Now, with all these things, especially that I am exposed right now, right now in politics, like real politics in the here. here.
Are there people around? Are there people inside the office with you?
No, I'm here in the session hall.
Wow, you're having a session with me at the session
Yeah.
house.
I learned, ma'am, that leadership is really about service above self, but at the same time, you need to think about yourself.
Right.
Because they say that you could be superhero, but always remember that there should be superheroes. It's not just
Yeah.
about you being the only superhero, 'di ba? It's like service above, yeah, yourself, but you also need to think about yourself.
Exactly. I agree. So
And
why that change? What has happened that made you see that other aspect of your definition of leadership?
because before, ma'am, I would always want to have the spotlight, especially in high school. 'Di ba? I mean, we always equate leadership to the top level management, something like that. But along the journey, in my exposure in the university, exposed to many spectrum of people, especially their personalities and leadership um, ideals. I learned that leadership is really all about service and your contribution and letting your members or the group of the community express their opinions or their suggestions, but you do not invalidate them.
Yeah.
Just listen to any opinion, and at the end of the day, it should be consensus whether you like the idea or not, but you need to decide, even if on your part you don't like it. But we know the politics that here, that if this is what I want, this is what I like. But for me, leadership should not be like that. It should be consensus. It should come from a consensus. And again, it should be collaborative.
Yeah.
Leadership should be collaborative. You need to build linkages.
Right.
And you should not think about yourself and about your position all the time. Because for me, the position is just a platform for you being being the face of your organization or what.
All right. All right.
But being a good leader for me is also producing better leaders and
Yeah.
leaders that would remain humble.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So yeah, that's a lot. Um, I agree with many of your points. Many of your points. But I don't
Yeah,
agree with a few.
yeah, yeah.
Sorry, but I'm not going to debate with you on that. But
Yes, Ma'am Jay.
I would just add on. This is not a debate. I would just add on to a few things to affirm many of the things that you said. So one is that leadership is about, it's also thinking about yourself. So this is my take about thinking about yourself. If I really think about myself, I would think that I should have an easier job, that all the responsibilities I have, like because I have a position, I have a rank, it would be good for me if I empower the people around me. Okay, so um, thinking about myself. So I would have less stress, less work to do if you enable and empower people to use their potentials and their gifts. So if they become more confident at what they do, if you affirm them, if you skill them, if you help upgrade their skills, like they can, you train them for the first few years, first few months, and then now you can delegate more and more and more. That is thinking about yourself. No, not because you would like to just sit and be lazy, but you would like to be healthier by having less stress, and you feel good when you see that other people around you have become empowered because of you, have discovered their love for service. Because one of the things that make people lazy in government offices is when they just do when they just do routinary work and they're basically brain dead. Okay, but if they're valued for their ideas and their thoughts, aside from their physical skills, then they would find their root and establish an anchorage in their work, in their service. And I think that has happened to you. I'm just adding on. And that's why you become very passionate about contribution. We become very passionate about contribution because leadership in service is about emotional contribution. It's about an emotional contribution, whether the pay is high or low, whether there are few benefits or there are a lot of benefits. Those things would be third in rank or fourth in rank, because the most important thing for you in service and in leadership is that you are able to contribute more in many different ways. And it's not always hugging the spotlight, but you are one of the best leaders if you allow other people to shine also with you.
Agree.
Agree.
Agree. Yeah.
Agriculture.
Agree.
All right, Lee. So, oh my God. So I'm
Wait, one last word I would like to share about leadership, the MMJ.
sure.
Leadership for me, if you're a leader, you are a mobilizer. If
Mhm,
you're able to mobilize this group or these people, then I
mhm.
think you're a good leader. Because
Yeah,
mobilizing them, it means they are able really to think about their opportunities and their skills, what they could contribute, and they're able to translate it into action or programs or activities.
I agree. I agree with absolutely agree with
Um,
that.
Empowerment is good, but mobilizing them is better.
Right. Okay. Okay. I'll just add a little bit of that. That is why I have this absolute confidence that many of my friends, not many, my friends, my true friends, that whenever I would request them to be engaged in something, to work with me, to be involved in something, I always mention first about this is pro bono. And
Yeah.
I always have a confidence about, them not asking for any monetary returns, because I believe that good people like you who really understand the value of service and leadership, it's not about the money. It's not about the 5,000 honorarium for the day's work. It's about how your heart is filled to the brim with with goodness and all the positive hormones that come rushing in because you did something good for that day. You did something good for that day, and that's why I would say this. I'm very confident that for my friends, the friends that I really call friends and not just acquaintances, they would work with me without monetary benefits, and I do the same for them without monetary benefits because there's a greater reward than just money. The greater reward is, I don't know how to, I don't have the right words to say, to explain it, but it's just that at the end of the day, um, you just feel good. And that's really one of the best things, that you feel good and that you know that in your own little ways, you have added some flavor to the lives of several people. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So,
That's true, Ma'am J. Because as leaders, we really need to share ba? Because that's the trapo, because the trapos are like taman lang sa ilaha. But no, for me, leadership, you need to share it. Nanang ipagdamot man nimo. And I would tell everyone, sa imo po na ko nauna na dunggan ng pro bono. And then I really love the term because I don't really think, siguro for others, but for me, I really don't think about the pay after, but the thought of being able to share because you know that in this crowd, I know that there is a person or two or three that would be very happy about this.
right. Yeah, because true leadership is not for everybody. Even in the Bible, the person that comes to mind, or the character that comes to mind, is about Saul, no, King Saul. King Saul was anointed, but his journey was different. His journey was different. It's very important that you don't get tainted. You don't get tainted. You don't get tainted, and you don't get tempted. You don't get tainted, and you don't get tempted. And I think that's why I know that you like working with Dr. Paul, because tama ba si Doc Paul? Of course, I met him once or twice, I think. It's because I think he spends more than what he receives as his salary. Because that's tama, he spends more than what he receives for his salary. Because yeah, it's the joy of service that has the most impact in the life of a true servant. And it's funny thing. I just like to react to the word trapo because that's the funny thing. Trapo is the shortcut, of course, for a traditional politician. But trapo for us in Bisaya is also trapo, no? Trapo na rug na ipang trapo sa hugaw, and then of course it becomes dirty. So that's why I said, oh my goodness, trapo is just supposed to be a shortcut for traditional politician, but they really are living out. Some of them, many of them are living out the literal meaning of what is a trapo, which is they really get dirty. Okay, so let's stop there.
Yeah.
God. Okay. Sige, moving on. It's almost
Yeah.
5 o'clock. I'm down to my last two questions. Oh my God. But again,
Fireball.
we need part two.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. You've said a lot actually. So let's talk about your next journey. Your next journey in life. Because you have been working for the city of Valencia for how many years now? See? So the thing is that you come from the academe and then you went to public service, real public service. Although academe work is also public service, but then you went to public service. My one question is that how was your academic work experience prepared you for, the public service in LGU? That's my third to the last question.
That's it really helped me, ma'am, especially in the academe rather. We are always pressured to do things, diba? With all the ako, with all the other things, So this prepared me here because everything is organized. I mean, me, I'm so organized.
Everything is organized.
Not really that organized, but my colleagues would really tell me that I really have a different style, and I'm very organized for them. So it's something new for them, and the way how I handle the kind of professionalism that I'm showing. But I said, not because I'm a teacher, because probably it's also part of my personality.
I think that was the contribution from your father. Okay, sige. So what's the next for you? You've been there for almost 2 years.
Yeah.
And what's your next journey?
There's actually an inside joke that people assume that I would run for a post. But no, I don't really want to be in politics. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I could serve people in other ways, not just
don't say very conclusive statements right now. Maybe the no. Are you okay? What's the next journey for you? Is it definite that you're going to another country?
Yeah, it's definite. We're just waiting for our ticket. But yeah, it's in Japan, but we're just Actually, Ma'am Joy, just yesterday, other countries like US, the Americas, UK, and Singapore, they already have their departure date and tickets, and some Filipinos.
Okay.
But it would depend on the cases, especially that it's Olympics. So they are expecting the cases to rise. But after the Olympics, I think everything will be settled, and they assured us that by the end of the year, we will be there.
Okay, so where are you going in Japan, and what will you do?
I thank God because I've been praying for this one. Though it's another risk. They call it risk, but you know me, Ma'am Joy.
Yeah.
With all the opportunities that came, which I am always thankful for. But I chose this one because I also asked blessing from my mom. I want independence. I want to try independence, like independence at the same time. The independence given to me by God is the place that I've been dreaming for.
Okay.
I will be assigned at Ehime Prefecture in Shikoku Island. the smallest island of Japan, under the JET or Japan Exchange and Teaching Program. So it is composed of two parts: the exchange and teaching. Exchange being the cultural ambassador of my country, because we'll
Right.
be sharing Philippines, Asia, and ASEAN. And teaching because we will be assigned in schools.
Mhm.
Not literally to teach, but there will be times that we will just be assisting the teacher,
Mhm.
but make activities for internationalization of education.
Wow.
So,
See your IRO experience. See. My goodness. The
this
more
is the most craziest thing, most na craziest. One of the panelists that time was Ma'am Joy. The Joy that's your friend
ah
from CHED.
okay.
Yeah,
Yes,
so
Mom
she
Joy.
was
That's
interviewing
Joy.
me. I'm Leo. I'm from CMU. I was the IRO, and then she was just like this. And when she heard IRO, you know Julia Mago? Yes, ma'am. I was the person designated to be IRF. So you're the one I met in Malaysia. Yes, ma'am. And
See.
then and then and she told me without bias. The other panelists really gave a nod on my interview.
Mhm.
So I mean, God just really
Yeah.
made this thread in my life.
Right. No. Yeah. See, prepares the previous experiences would prepare you for the next experiences. Exactly. And oh yeah. I remember. I
Na-speak
miss
ako sa
I miss the ES people actually. I still message with Attorney Milia, definitely Attorney Lily, and
Yeah.
also Elma once in a while,
Yeah.
and even that particular lady in another office, OSDS, once in a while.
Oda?
No,
Huh?
no, no. The other, of course, Mom Joyce, the other Mom Joy, the other Mom Joy at ES, because yeah, well, it's okay. I don't have to share, but I'm so happy for you. Okay,
Yung
so
Ma'am Joy.
all right, and Yemi Prefecture, is that north, south, east, or west of Japan?
South. No, north, south. North. South.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
south.
it's gonna be warmer then,
Yeah, yeah,
because,
yeah.
because in my previous conversation with Jerry Delphine, he's going up north, and he's
Hokkaido?
going Hokkaido, and he's going to
Oh!
oh, you did not. Okay, I suggest you try to watch our conversation.
Yeah, yeah.
Because Hokkaido, he could have about 6 months of winter there. So because it's gonna be very cold, and then you're going to a warmer place. Very good. So if ever the Lord will grant me a chance to go back to Japan, I'm gonna travel south to north, north to
Yes,
south.
Ma'am Jay.
Joke
My
lang.
place is just in front of Hiroshima.
I've been to Hiroshima.
Oh.
No. I've been to Nagasaki, but not to Hiroshima. I've been to Nagasaki. And that was one of the that's where I saw the declaration of peace statue, and I cried when somebody, I think two people were there, and they sort of gave a talk, testimonies about their experience for the the bombing, the World War II. God, that's why after all the bad stories I heard from my grandfather, it was a one-sided part of the story. And oh my God, you get to learn that they also suffered while we suffered. They also suffered. And the good thing about the Japanese, going back to their discipline, is that they learned their lesson well. They learned their lesson well. And I hope we Filipinos would do the same, that we should learn our lessons well. Sorry about that. Because sometimes the Lord, gets exasperated with us, I think, because um, He tries to educate us with lessons in life once, twice, three times, and we still are so dense. We don't understand. We don't get the lesson well. Sige, Lee, final question for you. So there's gonna be part of the conversation, right? When you will be in
Yes.
Japan. Just like what I said, Jeric, when he would be there,
Yeah.
because I think he's leaving for September.
Yeah.
And hopefully you'll be leaving either before that or after that. Because,
Either September or October, ma'am.
okay, because the Olympics will be done by next week,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So, okay. And what else? Goodness gracious. So you've answered that, Japan. And so my last question is, you did say about your life mantra earlier on. So looking forward, looking forward talaga ako. May I know, uh, aside from your family members, who are the people who influence you the most? Why you have this inclination to find opportunities to grow and develop yourself? Because I think you are one of those people who proactively and very consciously find ways and opportunities to cultivate and grow yourself. I'm very curious about that because I really like the idea of people wanting to grow and develop themselves personally and professionally. So,
Without bias, I would say you.
no, not
You
just
would always challenge me, Ma'am Joy. And every time you say that, Leo, every time you would rant out your frustrations to me, I would always think that, yeah, because there are so many, the spectrum is so broad that around us, and we need to experience this one. And I'm a living testament that there's really lesson from it, and you want other people to experience it the same, even though they would have different lesson. There's so much more around us, and we need to experience, and then when we return, we need to share and empower and then mobilize people.
oh, pang IRO ka talaga, di ba? Pang international ka talaga. No. Thank you so much. I'm humbled, flattered, humbled.
Yeah, actually, ikaw, Ma'am G. Who else?
No. Think of somebody else because I don't want this conversation to be about.
Kaya, hmm,
Okay, let's talk about your mom. I think. Okay.
okay.
Sige, let's talk about your mom. I think she really has a very strong
Okay.
influence. Aside from that, she's your mom, but
Yeah, okay. I think I would also share this to people. Sa unang mga Good Ma'am Joy, every December, we have this IP Lumad brothers and sisters nga mag-knocks atong door. Mangayo sila og goods. So every December, ga-prepare si mama and papa ng mga sanina. And ipasulod nila sila sa balay, ipakaon. Like literally ipakaon. Kung unsa among handa.
okay, dili ang
And-
sinina. Sorry. Okay, sorry. Dili ang sinina.
Oo, dili lang siya. And then, growing, na-realize na ko nga, we need to choose to be kind all the time.
I may
Ano
debate
lang,
with that. I may debate with that.
super lang gid na siya gatatak sa ako karon, Ma'am J. And, help people even if they don't literally ask for it, kaya ang uban maulaw.
Right.
Ana ba?
Mm.
And then always push them, but at the same time, don't be so over positive. Kay lahi magud ng over positive imong pag-push.
Yeah, don't give the don't add to their disillusion or illusion.
Oo.
Tama ba 'yon?
Yes, ma'am.
That's why
You
that's why
can
we
be
need
the
to be
best
honest.
version of yourself, but let's also be realistic at the same time. Something like that. A mixture of being practical, realistic, at the same time reaching your dream. Because that's also one lesson I learned in life, that we are so much devoured by our emotions. That's why we need to mind over matter.
We need to what? Say that again.
Mind
Mind over matter. Okay. So
over heart.
shall we end the conversation there? The part one conversation.
Yep.
Okay, I think from a very young person, you've shared so much wish.
There's one thing I would like to share. Last na gid ni ma'am.
Okay.
Bitaw, that's also I said yes because not really I want to become famous or what, but I just want to share my narrative to young people that you can always achieve your dream if you work hard on it.
Mhm.
If you go to people who will literally link or help you with your progress, and then always share what you've learned, go back to the people who help you, and ana ba, and then I never thought biya Ma'am Joy nga gadula ra biya jud ko sa rice paddy sa Muswan, and then I was in Washington, I was in the White House, I was in a cruise ship, I met this president. Like that, Ma'am Joy ba? And just be humble. Kaya ang uban mong good, super naka-extra when they return. Nagets ko ni mo, Ma'am Joy. I mean,
Yes.
that's
Yes.
not I'm boasting that I'm super humble. No, but the thought is always look back, and when you look back, always think of the contribution that you could make.
Exactly. And I'm not going to debate with you on that point, on those points. Well said. Well said, Leo, Lee,
Yeah.
Efren, Leo John,
Yeah.
Julia Ruel, Aribal, just call
Perfect.
I'm
Joy
haba.
and Breve. JSJ.
Lee, thank you very much for today and for this conversation.
Gozaimasu, Ma'am
Oh
Jay.
Arigato gozaimasu. Do itashimaste.
Ay.
Konnichiwa. Okay. No.